Hello and welcome to this tutorial, where Johan will show you how to use the Create Collision Geometry tool in Visual Components OLP.
Hello, Johan here from Visual Components. I will today show you the new tool, Create Collision Geometry. This tool can be used in Visual Components 5.0 and newer to create simplified geometries. The reason you want to create simplified geometries is because you will use the solver when you're offline programming. The solver is an option that you can use to fix your paths if you're either creating collisions or singularities in joint movement, for example. First off, I will start by selecting my robot, and I'm currently inside the Modeling tab. I will then go to Tools and select Create Collision Geometry. I can here select which axis I'm interested in creating a simplified geometry for. I will select the entire robot. I can also here select if I either want to create convex hulls around the axis or blocks. We can also here select what type of quality we want for our collision geometry to be in, how accurate it should be around each axis. If you select 100%, it will run slower, and if you run lower, it will go faster. Max geometry set count is how many blocks it should create around each axis. So I will here select 1. And the preview button will not create any geometry, it will just show you what you're currently trying to create. I will now change into convex hulls instead. And what you can see here is that we get a bit more slim geometry around the robot, which will allow the robot to go closer to the workpiece while we're doing our paths in offline programming. And I am now happy with my simplified geometry, so I will press Create. If you don't press Create, the colliders will not be created and all your work will disappear. And we can now, inside the robot, see the different colliders we have created. A new feature in 5.0 is also toggle collider visibility on and off. You can also select the opacity level on how much we want to see of it. I will now do the same for my workpiece positioner. And I do not need to press preview if I don't want to. I can simply press create and it will be created directly. And what is most likely to collide with the workpiece is, of course, the torch. And the torch is the part during our process that we want to go as close as possible to the workpiece. What we can see here is that my torch is currently only one piece and the wire. However, what I know is that I will go as close as possible with the nozzle during my welding process. So I will now use the slice tool here in order to divide up my torch into 2 parts. I have now selected an extra offset just to get my slice just above the nozzle. And I have now created 2 parts here. And I will create the nozzle also into its own link. And I will rename it into nozzle. However, it is yet still a quite complicated geometry here. So I will go into it and I will then right click and select Create Collider. This collider is far more accurate than the other one. However, you can still see here that it's not quite around the entire nozzle. So what I will do is I will go to Properties and I will also add some extra padding to it. And now it's safely covering the entire nozzle. I will now once again go to Tools and use Create Collision Geometry for the torch. I am not interested in creating a simplified geometry for the wire, because the wire will not be activated in my collider during my offline programming, because the wire is the one piece that I will allow to collide, so I can actually create a weld. And the nozzle I have already created a simplified geometry for, so I will also deselect that one. And what you can see here now is that our collider is around it, but not quite as accurate as I would want it to be. So I will now select precision mode. And you can see that we get quite a bit better. Precision mode takes longer to load and also is more complicated, so it will make our solver run slower. So I'm not using it for the entire robot or the workpiece positioner, only for the torch. And I will press create, and my simplified geometries are now created. Thank you for watching.